Last week, the Grahamstown High Court ordered the Department of Home Affairs to register the birth of Lawrence Naki's daughter, who was born in South Africa to a mother that did not have a valid visa and therefore was considered an illegal foreigner. This comes after Naki, a South African citizen working for the SANDF, met his wife when he was sent to the DRC. Now, the case has raised the legalities on the Department of Home Affairs legislation in recording identity and status of person. So to talk more, we're joined in studio by Mkuseli Apleni, who of course is the Director General at the Department of Home Affairs. Good to have you, DG. Thanks for coming in. So what is the role of the Department of Home Affairs in determining and recording the identity and status of persons?
Yeah. Well, firstly, the Constitution, Section 28 of the Constitution deals with the rights to children in terms of their naming and then as well as the nationality. Then in terms of that Constitution, then the department is to come up with the Citizenship Act. In the Citizenship Act, it is clear that a child will be a South African if he's born out of the two parents who are South Africans. Okay. Or if one of the parents is a South African, then that child will take the nationality and the citizenship of South Africa.
No matter if it's the mother or the father, it doesn't make a difference. So what happened in a case like this?
Yes. So now what happened in the case like this is that if the father goes away, then he was in this country, and then now comes to us as a father now, because remember, for now, I always say that it's only mothers who deliver kids. Yeah. Then if the father comes and now they are not married, they don't have documents, as we said, how do we know? What proof would I have if you just come in front of an official in Home Affairs and say, I'm the father of this child? Then the only way I can have that is for you now to do a paternity test. And the paternity test will prove to us that you are a father. So that if the mother comes back to Home Affairs, whether 2 weeks or 5 years after that, and says, no, you registered my children to a wrong person, then we'll be able to prove that, no, this is the father. So if that has happened, that's why when we were approached by the lawyers of the gentleman, we even said, no, we won't oppose the case. The only thing we need for you, go and do the paternity test. Once there is a proof, then we'll register the kids. Yeah. Then the next thing, they went to court without us, and then that's why now we're going back now to court and says, no, why we did not want to oppose the case is because we're saying, in terms of our law, those kids have got a right to be registered as South African. But the only thing we need to do is to prove that this is the real father. That's the only issue. I
mean, the basic principle, and again, I'm just going to reiterate what we've already said, is the basic principle is that for South African citizenship is that a child follows the citizenship or nationality of his parents. Yes. One parent is South African, then the child will be a citizen at birth. Now, why is this different? Because surely it's on the birth certificate that he is the father of this child. Why did he have to take a paternity test?
No, it's not yet registered. You remember when the child, there are 2 steps. When you get to the hospital, you are given what is a hospital card. At that point, that hospital card is just written to say, this is the mother, that's it. There is no checking and all that.
So you wanted evidence that this was indeed the father?
Exactly. That's why we are saying, if it is the mother, because the mother is the only one who delivers the child, so the doctor will certify to us that this mother with this identity document is the mother of the child, but the father is not there. So the only way now, if now the father just comes to us and say, I am a father, which we're always getting those cases, and we find that people are not the real fathers of those kids. Yeah. The only way is about a paternity test. Once it proves that we are a father, then there is no problem.
So in future, so let's talk about what can be done in future, because a lot of people obviously, it happens that their children are born out of the country. Yes. What should you do? What is it that you need so that I can have my child registered as a South African?
It's the same. As we remember now, there was an article during this week from South African Human Rights Commission. And then we're saying, what is the responsibility of the countries of the world is that we record the birth. There is a difference between register the birth and record the birth. So we record the birth by saying a birth has occurred in South Africa, and then you take that document, you go to your country of origin, and then you register the child. It's the same with South Africans. If a child of South African is born outside the country, they go to that country, they just get a record of the birth. Once that record is up, they go even to our embassies and submit that information, and we register the birth here in South Africa and send back the certificate to where the South Africans are.
Yeah, just finally, because this is important for South Africans. I think a lot of people are watching this and thinking, oh, okay, now what do I do here? The Constitution outlines rights to which children are entitled. They have a right to a name, they have a right to a nationality. Okay, how long do parents have in registering their children to become a citizen?
Within 30 days.
30 days.
So within 30 days, go and register that child.
And if you don't do it within 30 days, what happens?
Well, that is called a late registration of birth, which we're saying is what is giving problems. That's why we're encouraging South Africans to do so, because we don't know about life. What if after that, within that period, one of the parents dies? And then once that happened, then that child suffers because now he's no longer having somebody to say, yes, I'm a mother, I'm a father. That's why now our law says to South Africans, register your child within 30 days.
All right, leave it there. Thanks for joining us here on the program. Mkuseli Apleni is the DG for Home Affairs, talking to us about citizenship and children and the things that you need to follow. After the break, we chat to